Kels.
And I'm Youngster Alex.
And welcome to this week's episode of The Dex.
On The Dex, every single week we're going to cover one specific Pokemon. This week we're going to be covering the oldest, brownest, hardest Pokemon of all time.
You dude, no! It's Kabutops. Ever since Gen 1, Kabutops has been obtainable the exact same way, by getting a dome fossil, resurrecting it, and then evolving the resulting Kabuto. He is a rock and water type, which makes him adapted to life on land as well as in water, where he tucks in his blade arms and wriggles about to swim at super high speeds.
Kabutops is a predator Pokemon who hunts down and slashes less powerful Pokemon with his giant claws and sucks out their juice for nourishment. He literally eats other Pokemon.
So what? Animals eat each other all the time.
Yeah, but Pokemon aren't just regular animals. Pokemon are as smart as people. He should be convicted of Poke-manslaughter. He's a Poke-cannibal.
Can I talk about what inspired his design now?
Yeah, sure, whatever. You just think you should have Poke 25 to life.
Anyway, Kabutops is based off of a horseshoe crab and seems to be some form of arthropod. Personally, I think he looks most like the Chiruru's trilobite, which has a pretty familiar looking head and tail.
Kabutops' name comes from the Japanese word kabuto, which means helmet, and tops.
Tops? Like the word in English?
Yeah, pretty much.
So like, helmet top.
It also means that he is a murderer.
No! No more with this murder bit, okay?
Okay.
Good. So, in the original Pokemon beta, Kabutops was called Lantis, a reference to the mythical underwater city of Atlantis. Sometime between now and then, it was changed to Kabutops, and now he's taken his place as one of the coolest looking Pokemon around. Alright Alex, get back over here. It's time for our new ridiculous segment.
New ridiculous? You can't mean...
That's right! It's time for Bad Pokemon Science! Firstly, let's talk about fossils. If we're assuming that in the Pokemon world, scientists have discovered a way to resurrect Pokemon fossils, then you're telling me that tens of millions of years ago, there were only like 10 Pokemon in the world? That's bad science.
And if they can bring them back from fossils, they can probably just bring them back from the regular dead, right? Doesn't that seem easier? We're talking bad science.
And Kabutops' Pokedex entry says that he went extinct tens of thousands of years ago. But in the same game, it says that Kabuto are found all over the bottom of the ocean. Eeny, meeny, miny, bad science!
That's a finger-licking bad science. Bad science. Kabutops is a very fast Pokemon with a very high physical attack stat. But he becomes a freaking killing machine with his ability Swift Swim.
With the ability Swift Swim, Kabutops' speed doubles in the rain. Pretty crazy stuff. Maybe it's because he's so good at wriggling. Okay, all done.
What this means is that it's pretty essential to team him up with a good rain dancer. In the past, people used to pair him up with Politoed,
whose ability, Drizzle, means it starts raining as soon as you send him out.
And really, it is a devastating strategy, but it kind of broke the OU tier and now it's banned. Still, Kabutops is a big threat. If you give him Life Orb and Swords Dance to buff his attack stat, and you give him Waterfall and Stone Edge, he can still pack a pretty big wallop.
Make sure you watch out for Tangrowth and Poliwrath though. They're good enough walls to withstand a hit or two, and their fighting and grass type moves are super effective and have stab.
In that fourth slot, most people are going to tell you to use Rapid Spin to counter entry hazards, but because Rotom is one of Kabutops' biggest counters, that's impossible. So instead, I suggest using X-Scissor for type coverage, or maybe using the rare choice Toxic to put pressure on and take your opponent by surprise.
Oh no, you're poisoned. You gotta get to like a Pokemon Center or something. This will help you out with Tangrowth and Poliwrath.
Yep, pretty cut and dry. And of course, I know this isn't the only way to use a Kabutops, so if you're not going to send him to jail for Poke murder, here are a few random thoughts. On a team without rain support, a Kabutops, Swords Dance, Rock Polish, Waterfall, and Stone Edge is some pretty serious mind games type stuff.
Kabutops is pretty vulnerable to revenge killers, and a good way to counter that is by having Aqua Jet in that fourth slot. Not only does it have stab, but also priority.
Kabutops is a murderer. If you or anyone...
If you have anything else to add, or want to suggest a Pokemon for us to do next week, leave that in the comments below. I'm Pokekels.
I'm Youngster Alex.
Tune in next week for another episode of The Dex.
Like I have to be like, sure. like, yeah.
Same way, by erasure.
Dude, no, yeah, no.
Perfect, just like that.
Yeah, I'll do.
Means that he is a murderer.
No!